welcome to The Huddle. I am Stephanie, and today I'm here with Paul Gordon, who is the Senior Vice President of Sales with Rymax Marketing Services, who provide loyalty program and rewards for casinos in the gaming industry. And the first question we have for you today, Paul, is that we wanted to know how G2E has gone for you this year as an exhibitor.
Well, G2E is one of the events that you really have to be in because it brings the entire industry together. And so it's great to be able to see clients from across the country, current clients as well as new clients. And it's also good to see the enthusiasm of sort of what the industry is doing and moving towards. So everything from the seminars that people are involved in to the new technology for the machines, it draws in a nice eclectic kind of group of casino executives. And for us, it's, what's great is that post-pandemic, it's good to be able to see people, live in person, talk to them, and really start to talk about the business going forward. So I think timing is great because 2024 is pretty much here. And it's great for us to be able to talk about new products, new programs. So one of the most important shows that we do.
So G2E almost marks the beginning of the next year, really, as well as the end of this one.
Yeah, exactly.
And did you see any other loyalty program providers in G2E this year?
Well, I don't really look for them, if that's your question, but I assume that maybe there were some that were there. What's kind of interesting is that even though there are a lot of the providers are really sort of local providers. We're really one of the few that are, first of all, the size. I mean, we're probably the biggest entity in the casino industry. The fact that we do everything in-house, we actually warehouse the product, ship the product, the fact that we have our own customer service, I think differentiates ourselves. So in each market, technically there are competitors, but in terms of the full scale of what's delivered, and I want to make this sound like a sales pitch, but there really aren't many competitors from that standpoint. So I'm sure some were there. I honestly didn't see them.
It honestly sounded like my next question more than a sales pitch. I was going to ask what sets you apart, because on your website it says that about 65% of players will visit a casino if they perceive its loyalty program to be better. Is that true? How'd you find that out?
Yeah, so it's really 65% are loyal to the casino more than frequent casinos, because people do go to various casinos. But the power of a loyalty program and what it offers the person on a regular basis is really paramount to the strategy of any casino. If you look at really the people that are in there, it's a culture that, first of all, spends a tremendous amount of time there, especially in local markets. They spend their money there. They spend their entertainment time there, and they forge relationships with other players and with their casino hosts. And so they want to be part of something, and they want to be recognized for being part of that. And that's where loyalty really comes in. And I think that the programs that are robust, programs that offer things that are unique or different and are timely, really is the key. Years ago in the Atlantic City market, there was a casino that opened up called Revel. And Revel went bankrupt, and it's now Ocean Casino. And I believe that one of the third items that was sort of brought up in the bankruptcy for the failure of the organization was they launched a loyalty program. You need a loyalty program. You need people to become engaged. And it's not just in the casino industry, it's really across all industries. We don't just do casinos. We do the Capital One program. We do United Airlines program. We do a lot of employee programs in the pharmaceutical area because people want to be rewarded and they want to be recognized. And so that's why it really is so important. And so if 65% is the number, which I honestly believe is a little bit low, but I'll have to check our website. The reality is that once you get somebody engaged and you show them that there's value to what they do, they'll keep playing, they'll keep coming.
And which casino operators specifically do you think have the best loyalty programs out there, and what do all of those have in common?
So I'm going to be very political since we deal with pretty much everybody. So I'm really not going to single out anyone. But I will tell you this. I think that communication is key. And I think that the casinos that communicate on a regular basis to the players, very, very important. I think those that understand that the brand is important, less the logo of products. I mean, one of the big things that differentiates us, I think going back to one of your first questions, is that, we were the ones 25 years ago that really introduced branded products. It wasn't a logo product. It wasn't a product that was kind of a knockoff or sort of a secondary type of, brand. It's all brands that people want. And so I think that the operators that keep the program really fresh, you don't want to go onto the website and see old stuff. You want to see the latest stuff that have a sense of seasonality. So this way you're offering things that people want during that time. It's a big difference between what people redeem in the spring and summer than obviously what they redeem in the fourth quarter. And then understanding their player demographic in terms of, what the player wants. I mean, just anecdotally, I'll tell you that, we introduced Lego into a program. Now you sort of think that's sort of counterintuitive to what a casino player is. But if you think about the vast majority of where the money is, it's actually with boomers, right? So the baby boomers that are going in there, they've got discretionary income, they're in the casinos, they're playing, they've got kids, they've got grandkids. And so part of the loyalty program is, hey, you know what? If you can't get that Star Wars Lego set someplace at retail because it's sold out, you could get it in the program and they redeem against that. So you really have to give them a nice broad offering and then, keep it fresh.
So it's all about not just what you offer, but how you offer it, when you offer it, and how often you communicate then.
Yeah, I mean, repetition is important because people, listen, you're vying for people's time, and everybody's on their phones, and everybody's looking at different things, and they're, whether they're on, their social media sites or whether they're on other sites. So how do you carve that out? You need to make sure that you're giving them something that is really desirable and a reason to visit the site. And if you do, you'll build that traffic.
Speaking of reasons to visit, how do you measure the engagement a property gets from its loyalty program? How do you know when customers are coming back and when they are doing that loyal visit from a reward they may have received?
So we work real closely with our clients, and probably the best example of that is when we do shopping sprees, where we take over a ballroom, and the ballroom has it's sort of like having, Nordstrom's, Best Buy, and Home Depot all in one. They're vignettes of all the different product categories. And those drive play because they're building up points prior to it. It drives foot traffic in terms of them coming in during the event, and for booking rooms and hospitality and everything else that goes along with it. And so there's a great measurement from that standpoint. And we do a post-analysis with our accounts to see, where that lift is. In terms of the bulk giveaways on a regular basis, you try to time those so that, again, you're bringing the people in. We like to drop ship stuff. We like to have it actually delivered to the player's house as opposed to having them take it with them. And I'll tell you why. A lot of the stuff that people want is big and it's heavy. And you don't really want them to have to leave the casino to go to their car because chances are they're not going to come back in after they delivered it to their car, right? They're just going to go home. So we like that. And we also like the fact that a few days after they redeem for that award, it shows up at the doorstep and it reinforces once again, oh, I got this because this casino finds me valuable and I like this item, and they come back in again. So we work real closely. We try to deliver things that make people come in on a regular basis. Continuity programs are still important, where you're giving them a series of products that all sort of work together, and then that'll drive foot traffic and play.
So as far as popular program resources casinos ask for, it seems like drop shipping and shopping sprees and continuity are all definitely up there. Is there anything else that they're asking for as part of their programs? And is there anything that they're phasing out and not asking for anymore?
Yeah, so good question. I mean, more and more, they really want to have stuff that's online. They really want to have something that's, and that might sound kind of startling to maybe somebody that's watching this interview, but up until recently, there was still a tremendous amount of direct mail that went out. There was still sort of a thought process that people really weren't engaged from a technological standpoint. So to be able to have a very good selection of product, have it online, and let them see it on a regular basis, that's becoming much more powerful. Even in terms of the on-site shopping sprees, we've been doing a fair amount where we're bringing less product physically to the ballroom, but a sample within each category, and then via QR code, because people all have smartphones, very few people don't. They just take their smartphone, they go to the QR code, they're able to see the product that's in there, the different colors, whether it's cookware sets or whatever it might be. and then be able to redeem, on site, and again, it's drop shipped. So we're seeing more of a move towards IT-driven programs. Not many people still don't want the players to redeem from home. They still want them to consummate the sale by coming back in again, but giving them access to the information and being able to say it becomes more and more important.
That's really interesting that it's a physical shopping spree, but with a QR code for an online redemption.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're talking about, for us, I mean, we have probably 450, 500 brands and 20,000 SKUs. You're certainly not going to bring all those things. And when you see even like UGG boots, they're different colors, they're different styles. So you bring a few, they understand, oh, I can redeem for UGG. Let me go now to the UGG section on that website and then be able to pick from that. So yeah, so it's a hybrid, and it's starting to really work very well with our clients.
Speaking of working with clients, how does Rymax choose what brands and what sort of brand identity that will work with your partners, and which casino might be an UGG boot casino, or which might be the Home Depot shopping spree, or any other of the brands that you work with?
Yeah, great question again, because a couple things. One is that we're very, very active with our buyers and merchandisers in terms of going to various trade shows to see what is going to be new. We're also direct with all the manufacturers. So unlike sort of being a middleman where we're kind of, buying from somebody, we're actually talking directly to Michael Kors. We're talking directly to Kate Spade. We're talking directly to, Samsung. And so we do get the product roadmap to see what's going to be happening 12 months, 16 months down the road. So it gives us a sense of what we're going to phase in and phase out. We also, with those types of trade shows and through social media, we try to keep a pulse on sort of what is new and emerging. We just brought on, and it's a brand that, of course, I get a few laughs about, but we just brought Manscaped on board. Now, Manscaped is a grooming product for men, but if you look at the casino audience, phenomenal product for Father's Day, phenomenal product for a shopping spree where probably we skew a little bit more female because there's a lot of fashion items in terms of handbags, things like that, but something that's in demand. And if you're a huge UFC fight person, you see them all over the octagon, you see them in the sports. So we try to do stuff that really is very, very broad, and then see if it resonates. Now, pre-pandemic, we probably would bring on about 20 new brands a year. Right now, we're probably bringing on about a dozen. And the reason for that is because we want to make sure the supply chain is there. We want to make sure that they can support the orders that come through. And we want to make sure that it's not a transient brand that is going to go away, 6 months from now. So that's pretty much how we do it. And we also bring on products that our clients ask for. They may specifically ask for a brand. And so we'll go out, we'll source it. And if it makes sense, we'll certainly bring them in.
The clients ask themselves for specific brands. And then the comment about the Octagon was really interesting to me, just because we talk a lot here about how Las Vegas is getting more sports specifically, even though obviously sports are enjoyed everywhere, near every casino. But if there is a lot of branding for a certain product in a space where the casino guest might be going, is that something you pay attention to and use a lot for your inspiration?
Yeah, well, so again, going back to seasonality and going back to sort of what's going on, the best way to deliver something that's desirable is to tie it into what's happening during that time of year, or what's happening just in terms of culture. The UFC has become a dominant force in sports entertainment. I believe they just merged with WWE. You see that they're involved in boxing, so that's a really good demographic to go after, because I actually I'm a big fight guy. I go to a lot of fights, and you see a very broad group of people from an age standpoint, as well as male, female, in terms of who's physically going to the fights. So I think that's important. I think that what's important culturally is to make sure you have the right products based on what the influencers are showing. I mean, we're at a time now where social media, you have these influencer who is representing a brand, and suddenly it starts to take off. Well, you need to make sure you have that as well. So it's a fun business because there's risk involved in terms of bringing a brand on, obviously, but at the same time, it's fun to constantly have your pulse on sort of what is resonating with the consumer, whether it's a player or whether it's just a consumer in another program. So that's sort of how we approach it.
So casino guests may see loyalty program items that are being displayed at their favorite matches or on the Las Vegas Sphere or just by influencers then online as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our last fun question for you today is is there any specific reward that you would want to win the most in any of your programs, Paul?
That's a very tough question. So I think two things. From a seasonal standpoint, I think I'd probably gravitate more towards things like Big Green Egg or or solo stoves. I think that in general, I'm a big watch guy. I like watches, so whether it's a top end watch like Breitling or Rolex or, just a fashion watch in Seiko or Citizen, I think I'd probably go more towards that. And that's probably a huge mistake on my part because I probably already have about 15, 20 watches. But but I'm a watch guy. So yeah, I don't know. There's a lot to choose from. I don't think that you can make a bad decision in terms of what you ultimately choose. And hopefully you enjoy it.
Well, thank you so much for telling us how the loyalty program situation works and how you work with your partners. Is there anything else you want to add about what you're looking forward to in 2024?
Well, I think in 2024, I think we're going to see, hopefully, we're going to see more of the online sports betting entities really having a full, robust loyalty program. I've been trying real hard to sort of break into that. Right now, they're taking a page out of the standard casino model, which is basically like free play, guaranteeing a certain percentage of your bet and all that. But, with that type of vehicle, the odds are the same across the board. And so to build loyalty, you have to have a strong loyalty program that's giving something to these people to keep them on there. So I think that that's going to emerge more. I believe, hopefully it'll emerge more. And I think that in terms of big cities, you're going to see more and more big cities penetrate into the casino business by having a full-blown casino, whether it's going to be in Manhattan at some point. You already see Chicago's starting to do that. Detroit for years has been very, very successful. I think you're going to see more of that in 2024 and beyond.
Well, thank you. We've definitely been watching the progress at Gaming America of the New York casino bidding process and of the temporary casinos that are currently being built in the Chicagoland area. So we'll see if your predictions come true soon. Thank you,
Well,
Paul.
I hope they do. Stephanie, thanks for the opportunity. Thanks, Gaming America. And, it's a great industry with tremendous growth still. So we're very bullish on it and we're very happy to participate in it.
Well, I hope the next year is rewarding for you.
Thanks.
Thanks.